Welcome back. You're watching this Newzroom Africa special. It is a roundtable focused on women in sport. In studio with me, I've got Banyana Banyana forward. She also plays for Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, Melinda Khadiete, as well as the Deputy Director of Sports Management at the University of Pretoria, Dr. Rendani Molauti. So we left it by speaking about how it's really important that there is a framework that supports getting sponsorship, the development of women's football. Do you think it's as simple as that?
It needs a mind shift and the willingness to do what is right. I think at the University of Pretoria, Northwest University, Stellenbosch, we built systems that worked.
And it certainly did. A lot of the Banyana Banyana players are alumni from the Banyana program that ran at the University of Pretoria. There's a number of Banyana players at UWC. Melinda, for you, what has been key for your trajectory as a women's footballer? Because you yourself went through a lot of challenges. If I just think back to 2017, missing out on WAFCON 2018, World Cup in 2019, and then really having to fight hard and getting a place in Mamelodi Sundowns ladies to turn it all around.
It was not easy. Football is not easy. Like when you see it there, it looks like it's easy. It has its challenges. As you said, I missed out on the last World Cup 2019. I was dropped. It was a big blow for me, but look at me today. I'm here, so which means you must not give up as a player, you know, and that is part of the game. Well, that is part of life. So you just need to go back, fix your mistakes, and work hard. And this year I was part of the 2023 Women's World Cup.
Do you think that your journey in football would have been made easier if there were better structures in place?
If it was maybe professional enough, if everything is professional and you as a player, as a person, you become professional, you become disciplined, you become like consistent. So if those things were set up for us from grassroots, I think it was going to be like easy for players to be like professional. And other players, I think they're playing overseas because of those things like discipline and all that. So I think if it was set up in the grassroots, I think like we would be like far by now as like players.
Well, what do the sponsors have to say about players and the federation? And when the relationship goes wrong, it's something that we saw very publicly happen before the FIFA Women's World Cup, with the World Cup selected team not playing in what was supposed to be a wonderful final send-off for them in Gauteng against Botswana. Here's Sassel.
That is one of those unfortunate things. And for us as an organization, we are, we remain so committed that we are able to discern when things have got to do on the sponsorship side or it's a purely administrative side. And the stance that we took at that point was to say, you know what, we need to give, because we see ourselves as partners, we want to enable the space, and we take a stance and say that we want SAFA and the players to deal with whatever they need to deal with, and when it's a football matter, we allow them and give them the space to do so, and we're readily available to provide, the support when we're required to. But really, it's about us being those partners and knowing where our roles and having that clarity on where our roles as sponsor starts and stops.
Well, perhaps the answer is getting more women involved in the structures of a women's sport. So from coaching right through to administration, although at the highest level at SAFA, they do have that box ticked with their brand new CEO. But here's what Tracy Pepper had to say about getting more women involved in and around the game.
Where is the money? Where's the drive to start educating more young girls, women in this department? There's so few of us. There really are. And why is it that the men always get those opportunities, but the women don't? I was very fortunate back in 2012 when I did my pro license, and I had the privilege of going to Germany to do my coaching A and B license in Germany. But why is it stopped? Where's the money for the educating female coaches? And I think it needs to be really encouraged, because We need more women, especially now that a lot of the teams are starting to wake up and go, okay, maybe now's the time we need to start getting a women's team in, because what happens if at the end of the season we end up in CAF? We need a women's team. So I think PSL teams are starting to open their eyes, but I also feel that the coaching positions should be given to women. But again, are there enough women?
That's what we have learned with our top athletes at the University of Pretoria. It takes about 10 years to get them to win an Olympic gold. So there's no quick success. So money is essential. It needs to be given to responsible organizations to use. Universities are very good at that. They're governed properly.
Well, I mean, if we look at the success of Banyana Banyana, it wouldn't have been possible without the universities, would it, Melinda?
No, not at all. And other players, they come from universities, like they play from Eskolweni, the university, and then they see them there, and then they join Banyana. So university, it also helps.
Yeah. How, if you could just put on a cap of being the administrator and you could make all the big decisions, who got sponsored, how much they got sponsored, so you can, throw away that player's mentality and think that you are the one that makes all the decisions with all the money and you've got carte blanche, you've got a blank page. How do we ensure that South Africa will go beyond the round of 16 at the next World Cup?
It's from the grassroots, as I said, because it starts there, like make sure everything is in place. And then the treatment also try to be equal, don't treat maybe women differently from men. And
like even the youngsters,
even
right?
the youngsters,
like from the very beginning.
Yes, and then so that they won't feel some type of way or something like that. And
so that still happens.
Yeah, it happens. And then in terms of money, I would also try and pay them equally.
Can I ask you a personal question? Do you feel embarrassed to ask for more money?
They make us to feel embarrassed, like the way that it's like they make us feel like you don't deserve this much money sometimes. Like if maybe against example, like you put a male footballer here and ask them how much they're getting paid, and then you put me here and we're playing on a professional level, or maybe let's say we're playing on the national team, both of us, like Bafana player and Banyana player. And then when now you want to demand the same salary as Bafana, and then they will make you feel like you don't deserve it. You understand? So it's sad, but you can find out that we're playing in the same national team. You understand? We're both representing the country. But people will make you feel like you don't deserve that. So it's like that.
Because the truth is, money does matter. And how you are able to fund your livelihood and be able to not only survive, but actually thrive as a woman, playing a sport which, as we saw with Banyana Banyana's success, inspires so many girls to follow a path that is incredibly healthy and certainly can be. That is why people want to get involved in sports, is the hope that that area, that sector remains healthy and happy. According to our Minister of Sport, according to our President, Cyril Ramaphosa, what we need to do is quickly fast-track professionalizing women's football. So let's hear what Tracy Pepper and Nozipho Mbata had to say about professionalizing the game here in South Africa, and from Nozipho's side, from a sponsor's point of view, how they feel about closing the gender pay gap.
It's something that is important to us because we want to see that gap close as well. And that's why we are so supportive of other sponsors coming on board, because we realize the importance of sponsors being on board. We know the importance of getting people onto, to watch the games. So we work extremely hard when Banyana does play, when there are certainly games, to get people to come and watch, because those eyeballs are just in the sports sponsorship marketing space as well. They are just so important. And I think that if it's left just to one organization to do, we can only do so much. But when we've got other partners and other brands coming on board, we can collaborate and do this collectively.
The biggest challenge is, who will that sponsor be? Who will stand up and say, yes, we're prepared to invest in women's football? Because, you know, it's even with the men's football, there's grassroots football, there's development football, women, there should be. But I don't feel in men or girls or boys there's enough development football. I started girls sport in 2004, and I remember setting a proposal to SAFA and to saying, if you don't have to sponsor me, I don't want your money, I just need you to give me that stamp of approval, to endorse me and say, yes, we're behind girls sport. Because girls sport started the first girls schools league in Gauteng. It was just really hard work. We wanted to take it provincial, but you know, we needed the backing, just the endorsement, because a lot of the schools said, we need the endorsement of SAFA in order for us to implement it in our schools. And they wanted my whole program. And I said to them, I'm not giving you my program, because I've worked for a year, like putting this together and putting the structure together, but let's work together on this.
So once again, that question of sustainability, and I think when we decided that we would focus in on women's football, not only because we've just had an incredible FIFA Women's World Cup, a historic performance from Banyana Banyana, but also because we are at a space now where people are open to speaking a lot more, and because South Africa potentially want to host the next FIFA Women's World Cup. As a player, Melinda, how do you feel about that?
About hosting the World Cup?
Yeah, about hosting the World Cup,
Okay.
you know, because like, according to the minister, how can we host a World Cup if we don't have a proper professional women's football league, you know? So
yeah, we have to be like professional first and all that, but it will be like a nice thing to host the World Cup. And South Africa, I think they hosted the World Cup in 2010. Yeah. So it will be like a first thing like that is happening in the country. But in terms of women's side, I think it will be the first time like the country. But yeah, as you said, like they have to make it professional first, because if they're going to host professional countries, like where they come from, their football is professional. So they have to start here before they host other countries. We have to be professional here at home. So like they must make it quicker to be professional so that we can host the World Cup.
We can have a professional league. We need the support of sponsors. And we need long-term investment in these things. It can't be for one World Cup cycle, 4 years, and we forget about it. We need 3 World Cup cycles at a minimum. That gives you 12 years. Yeah. So a 12-year kid who's playing football will be ready for the World Cup in 12 years. Yeah. And it needs professional coaches. We need women referees. We need women coaches. Football at the University of Pretoria for women changed when we appointed a woman coach. It definitely changed. Somebody was asking me, but is it luck or what? I said, no, it's not luck. People are speaking the same language. Yeah.
Thank you both for coming into studio, having this really important discussion. And I really hope that those people that do make the decisions in the frameworks which are so important to the sustainability, the development, and to ensure that women's football thrives, actually hear the willingness of the people to make a difference and implement. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to implementing the really good ideas, the energy of the people that really want to make a positive impact. So we don't have a player saying that they're embarrassed to ask for what is truly what they deserve. Thank you for watching this Newzroom Afrika special.